Oh, wait.
Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel Lapeef. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Tej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Tej. Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the teach. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Tej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Tej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Tej.
Wait. I know what you're going to say. I'm not a man and I don't have a beard, but he does. And so does he. I have 3 points for you that's going to help you grow your beard, and not just grow it, but hydrate it, allow it to come in healthy and shiny, and be able to groom it properly without all the flaking and the itchiness that sometimes comes with grooming the beard. Okay, number 1, be patient and consistent. Number 2, resist the urge to trim and shape your beard for the first 4 to 6 weeks. Number 3, don't hesitate to start now using products.
Just gotta take a moment to see. Oh, my beard looking so good. Man. Make sure y'all click that link.
Please tune in to our next video. We're going to give you more value, more information, and don't forget to purchase our products online at assuredmannaturals.com. There you can get 15% off when you use code Lapeef15, and we'll see you in the next video.
Go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Trev Smooth. I got my round of applause up. Trev Smooth. We got Sweeney, Marcus White, Shannon Rawls, James, D. Madden, Cloud Jones, Heath, and myself on Lapeef. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
What up? What up?
What it do?
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, good black people?
Hey, man, like you just came from a shoot or something, man. Like that jacket, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate it, man. It's a big and tall collection called One Bone. They're based out of Canada. Dope company.
Okay. Did they got anything for my size?
They got it back for everybody's size, really.
Oh,
So
okay.
definitely, yeah. You can check it out. onebone.com.
All right, let's go put that link in the description, man. And I'll go ahead and put it out there. It's good to see you guys. Welcome to King Talk. Let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out the way. Shout out to the sponsor, Team Family, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Give me 1 second. Oh, I can't hear myself. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Sound weird. All right, shout out to the sponsor, Team Family again, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along with a free gift. The link is in the description. Y'all go ahead and get that Sugar Curls and Lapeef collab. Y'all click that link that's in the pin to the top of the chat. Pin to the top of the chat. Let me see. Hink had dropped out. There you go, brother Hink. Shout out to all my green gang that's in the chat. I see we got James' wife, Lady Di, is in the chat. She's shouting you out, man. Showing you nothing but love. We love to see that over here. What's going on, Miss Parker? Good to see you, Erica, Bethany. Paul Jones is always in the chat. HR is in the building as well. I don't think we need him tonight. Dale Matthew. You want to become part of Green Gang? Click that link that's in the description and go green. Go green. Let's make sure we mute in between. What you drinking over there, Clout?
Special concoction.
Boy, got that yak, don't he?
What? Ain't waste no time, man. It's always a good time. What's going on, Mr. Bars? How you doing? Shannon. Good to see you, man. There you go. All right, Marcus, you always look like you fresh off a nap, man. Fresh off a nap. Must be nice, man. A kid's not the only one that's in the fetal position, man. Marcus be over there laid out right along with him. All right, so tonight we're going to be discussing prenuptial agreements, man. I think it is a necessary conversation. I stumbled across these brothers on Hardly Initiated, discussing it and breaking it down. I thought they brought an interesting perspective, seeing how Clout Jones is looking forward to getting remarried again. So I know this is no. I had you in mind when I saw this topic. I'm gonna say, hey, I know Clout Jones is ready. Should have invited Humble Dad up there because Humble Dad was ready to take somebody to school. According to the chat, they say they took Trev to school last time he was on here, and then he dipped.
I let him live.
Let him live. Okay. Yeah. I don't know who's the elder between you and him.
Oh damn! I'm surprised. I hope he is. I hope he is.
I was just trying to figure out who got son. Let me just stay up out of that, man. I'm like,
don't do him like that, Lapeef. Don't do him like that now.
It was one of those things where the thought came, but I didn't think about it. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. James, don't laugh too damn hard.
All good.
I already got me weak as hell.
Okay, because you know Hank ain't got no problem putting you on the dark side now. So gotta just be easy. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. I had to get my jokes out the way I see it works. So I am gonna keep a couple of them. Let me go ahead and jot a couple of those down because those they hit in the day. I might have to use them on Thursday. I got that note.
Not you noting them. Not you like.
I had to note it, man. I tried to tell some jokes earlier today. It was nothing but silence. So.
Oh, not the crickets. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't want any of those. Let's go ahead and get it started. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's up, AP, the accountability partner? I see Hink is in there as well. Erica say shots are fired. Let's go ahead and start off by defining prenuptial agreement. Let me go ahead and get this banner going, and then we'll go ahead and define it. I actually had it pulled up, so I am going to, at least I thought I had it pulled up. I'm just so unprepared, man. What is a prenup? A prenup or prenuptial agreement is a contract between two people that's created before they get married. It typically lists each person's asset, debts, and outlines how they'll be handled should the couple divorce later on. I just defined this, so I'm not going to go around asking you guys' opinion. I was pretty sure it'll come out in your statement. So now that we have the actual definition to put in place, I want to ask you guys this. Were there any prenuptial agreements put in place with any of your family members?
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I don't think so.
Not to
I
my
don't think so.
knowledge.
No.
It wasn't. So it just wasn't a thing. Can you guys go ahead?
We from the hood, so all of us broke.
We ain't had no bread like that.
I had no bread, so you got to have bread in order to have a prenup.
We ain't had prenup bread.
Yeah.
I think
You gotta
prenup bread is like when you in the multiples of six figures. That's when we start talking about prenups and how we gonna divvy up shit and all of that.
Okay.
That's not how I grew up though.
That's not how you grew up. How did you grow up when it came to marriage?
I mean, my parents were married. You know what I mean? But as far as I know, there was no prenup involved. You know,
Why do you think that's the case?
just wasn't part of the culture. Wasn't part of the lexicon. It just wasn't a part of. Prenup is like a thing that at least when my parents were of marrying age, a prenup is something that you heard about probably on TV every once in a while talking about some rich people. But I don't think the average married couple was even part of their vocabulary.
Okay. So one thing in your family. Go ahead.
I was gonna say also, I think it was just a lack of knowledge. A lot of us didn't really know too much what was going on. We didn't know nothing about credit. We didn't know nothing about none of this type of stuff. So a lot of this from YouTube and us talking to these spaces, a lot of information is starting to come out now. So
Okay. I had to be honest. I didn't hear about it until I started. Actually, I heard about it once or twice, maybe with Kanye West, and I think maybe somebody else I might have heard about it. But it seemed like it was a rich folks thing because nobody in my family had a prenuptial agreement, to my knowledge, and I don't have too many. I got a lot of elders, but they're in Mississippi. But as far as my immediate family, it wasn't the case. My grandparents didn't have one. They was married probably at the age of 16 to 18 years old. So it seems foreign to me. And I start to hear more and more about it as we entertain these YouTube spaces. Anybody else like to add anything on there as far as this prenuptial agreement, how it didn't exist back in the past?
I was gonna say, man, the parents back in the day built together, so it wasn't no need for no prenup because they get married so young. Neither one have none, so they actually built something. Now today, it's like somebody want to come and just take once you already built. So I think that's the major difference in today's time compared to the past.
Okay.
Yeah, man. That era, you gotta keep in mind, man. They didn't even have no cell phones. Like you having a cell phone and her having a cell phone wasn't a thing, bro. You had a house phone, and every call that came through the house came through that house phone. There was no passcode for my phone. There was no there was a lot of things that we take for granted or that we see as completely normal that didn't even exist during those times. So yeah, I really don't think the average couple was even thinking about a prenup. I don't even think they were thinking about divorce. Divorce was also a lot more shamed during that time than it is now. Nowadays, people expect divorce, but during that time, it was like that was a big blow. Like getting divorced was something the town talked about. Like that could be a big blow in your reputation. But nowadays, it's a lot more commonplace. Most of the people that over 40 have been divorced once, maybe twice. So it is what it is. I'll do you one better, Cloud. I would even say that back then, I mean, you didn't hear a lot about people having prenups and whatnot simply because, like you were saying, that I mean, parents back then, parents got together so much younger, and they built as a unit. They built as a team. They built their money up, built their wealth, built their nest egg together. It was never this is what I got, this is what you got. No, it was we both broke and we getting together because we love each other and we're gonna build this family together. And then we're gonna finish school, or I'm gonna get into my career. You're gonna get into your career, and then we're gonna pool our money together until we get to a certain status, into a certain place as we grow. So that's kind of how my family was, my parents. But I did know other people, I had other friends and stuff that were talking about prenups. They had to deal with that because they were either athletes or they were in the entertainment industry, and their money was different. Coming in, they came in individually with their own money instead of building it with their partner, with their spouse. And that's what we're seeing more and more today, is that people are building themselves up, and then they finally decide they want to get in a relationship. They finally decide they want to settle down, get married and whatnot. And that's why I believe it's becoming a bigger
conversation today, and there's more money being circulated, period, just in the market altogether, and just everyone's making more money than they did back in the day, back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, what have you. Just the average American's making more. And another thing too is that the average American, you're not going to hear about prenups as often because average people don't get prenups. That's just what it is. Average people don't get prenups. Every your person that's making $40,000 a year, $50,000, they're not getting a prenup. It's just that's not getting a lawyer, paying that money. That's just not their thought process unless they're on the cusp of a huge idea or a big payout coming soon that they've been working on behind the scenes.
Go ahead, Shane. You want to say something?
Being twice married, twice divorced. No, let me start it off like this. There's a lot of people that hate King Talk. There's a lot of, let me just be clear, women that hate men getting together and comparing notes. I was born in 1972. I graduated high school in 1989. Back then, men didn't talk to each other outside of their neighborhood, much less their city. Forget about the county, the state. Are you crazy? I didn't talk to nobody outside of LA growing up. Somebody mentioned we didn't even know about credit. We didn't even know what a FICO score was. Parents knew about credit, good credit, bad credit. They did not tell their children, be careful with that credit card. We figured it out the hard way. The thing about a prenuptial agreement is prenups are for broke people and rich people alike. Prenups, the cheapest prenup is $200. The most expensive, ironclad, best prenup that you can pay for is $2,000. The lead attorney will write up a prenup for you for under $2,000. For an attorney to do, it's cookie cutter. Oftentimes, it's really, hey, answer these questions, then go and duplicate a Word document, fill in your name from the last customer's name, and then add in the details because the attorney already has all the verbiage necessary and he signs off on it. Prenups are cheap. Prenups are cheaper than the cake you pay for your wedding. They're cheaper than your vacation. They're cheaper than your honeymoon. And knowledge is power. Now, I started this off with saying people hate King Talk because it's almost like men are waking up to stuff today, 2023, saying, what? My brother, may he rest in peace. He passed earlier this year. My brother and he was a pest control. He exterminated roaches for the for the county jails. No, not the county jails, for the state prisons here in California. And he got railed in divorce court. My brother, Mark Rawls. I'm Shannon Rawls. He's my older brother, Mark Rawls. Got railed in divorce court in alimony. And he wasn't no rich, wealthy. He drove a Ford F-150, went and had his uniform. He learned how to do extermination with Orkin pest control and ended up getting a job with the state and was a regular man with and got railed in divorce court because he got his divorce right after that 10-year mark, which is forever here in California. You pay alimony forever until she die or get married or something like that. I forget how it goes. And you know that, and he's a regular dude. And I remember him saying, all I needed to do was get a prenup, man. But I thought prenup was for rich people. Prenup would have it's just a simple contract between you and your girl that says, listen, in the event that this relationship does not work out, this is what we gonna do. Now, oh, you want a prenup? You already putting it out in the atmosphere that we gonna break up. You putting it out there? No, I'm just simply protecting me and you in the event that something crazy happens in the future. And if it does, this is what we'll do. This is what you take. This is what I take. This is what I came with. This is what you came with. If we have this job, or we do what we say we're gonna do, or if you cheat, if you don't cheat, that's all it is. And it doesn't protect millions. It protects money, any amount. It protects $10 in your wallet or 10 million in your bank. That's all it is. And we didn't know that. Knowledge, if we would have been told that broke people need prenups too, we would have got them. But we were told that prenups was for rich folks. So don't deal with that. Well, you only get what you came with the marriage with, and anything you get in the marriage is going to be 50-50. So you just didn't know anything. Everything was, you were blind to everything. And so now we have King Talk. We got what we got 9 brothers on the panel tonight, and we got thousands that's going to watch this show and say, wait a minute, I'm getting ready to get married, but I'm not a millionaire. A prenup is $200. You can go to the cheap lawyer down the block, give him the money that you spent on some new J's at Foot Locker, and have a prenup between you and your girl that will protect you later on. It's very rare in America. I know a lot of people think it's very rare in America that a judge will break a prenup. More often than not, judges honor prenups. So there's a lot of people that don't like us men getting together, teaching young princes how to become kings. You know, I say that all the time on the show. A lot of people don't want men to get, they you even hear women say it now. Why don't men just go back to just shutting up and go back to being who you were? You guys are out here just talking. They give anybody a microphone now. Y'all need to shut. Yeah, I bet you would like us to shut up, would you? I bet you would like us to just be quiet and kill the King Talk podcast and just go back to just doing whatever. I bet you would like us to not talk and compare notes. I'm here in Los Angeles. JR's in Chicago. Brothers is all over the place getting together and saying, what's your experience out there in LA, Shan? Hey, man, this is what happened with me when I got my 2 divorces, and this is what's best. And then how did it work for you in Chicago, JR? Hey, man, this is how it works with the girls that I've been with, me and my raising my children, my son. Hey, man, what about you down there in Georgia? And what's going on in New York? And what about you, bro? How we have this communication ability to compare notes. And now we realizing, damn, we should have got a prenup. No man or woman, for that matter, should get married without getting a prenup. And I don't care how much money you have or don't have today. Do not buy a fucking wedding cake. Do not rent a tuxedo. Do not pay an officiant. Do not do not rent a limousine or a Sprinter van or go on a honeymoon.
What?
Married and you don't have a prenup. And I don't care how much money you make. If you are a truck driver for Amazon, get a prenup. If you work for the post office as a mailman, get a prenup. If you are an assistant manager at Target, get a prenup if you're getting married. Because prenups are for broke people and rich people alike. And it will protect you on who you become in the future based on, really it doesn't based on anything. It will simply protect who you become in the future in the event your marriage doesn't go to its full, in case it doesn't last until death do you part. A prenup will save you. And I wish we would have known that years ago the way we know it now. Thank God for podcasts and these microphones that we all have to speak into and to compare notes and to learn things that we didn't know before.
Okay.
That's all I got there. You know I'm long-winded, but
Yeah, no, that's all good. Sweeney, hold on, brother. I don't know if you wanted to add on to it, but I did ask the panel, were there any prenuptial agreements put in place with any of your family members?
For my family members, nah. I heard everything Shannon said, but we all been broke, so all of us was broke together. But I will say this though, just a little nugget out there for those who do have prenups in place and things like that. There is an interesting law here in Texas that I just found out about not too long ago. It talks about, like, say for instance, you inherit a property from your parents, or say you bought a property before you got married, right? And your prenuptial agreement may say, well, she doesn't own that property and I'll keep that property after the fact. Well, there is something interesting about a law here in Texas that if, say for instance, you and your wife are married, you had this property before her, you've been paying the mortgage on that property, right? Y'all buy a house together. If you use the money that you make during the marriage to pay for that property, you have to then reimburse her for half of everything you put into that property during the period of time you were married.
What?
I bullshit you not. So that's one.
I didn't know that, Sweeney. I didn't know that one.
And so basically, if you was like, say for instance, so y'all been together for 10 years, you've been paying your mortgage for 10 years.
Right.
Every dime that you put into that house, you have to pay her back half. And vice versa. Because in Texas, it's a community state. So everything you make within that marriage, or you go into that marriage and y'all say, okay, well, we don't, and you don't, and you go into it without a prenup, everything gets split in half when y'all divorce, right down the middle. So if you, matter of fact, there was I forgot what the lawyer name on TikTok is, but she's dope. You know what I mean? She has a lot of stories on there. But even it was one lady that took her husband to court. When they went to court, she got him to pay her half of all the money that he paid his mistress. So all the dates he was taking her on, all the hotel rooms, the gifts, he had to pay his wife half of everything he put on there because he took the money because he was spending her money too. Even if it was his money, he was spending her money too because it belonged. Your money in that marriage belonged just as much to her as it does to you.
Yeah, they say you're robbing the estate when you do that.
Yeah. So it's a be careful out there, fellas. Even when you own property and you go into the marriage, you say, "Oh well, it's my property." If you in a community state, anything that you spend on that property, you have to give her half of.
So is it when you're living there, or if the property is there?
No, it's your money's going towards something else outside of your marriage. You have to give her half of it.
If you're living,
you don't have to live there, JR.
You
It
do
could
not have to
be
live
a
there.
house that your mama gave you that you just never moved in and you rented it out.
But I'm saying,
you pay.
Well, you said the state of Texas. So if you don't live, is it that when you live there, or the property has to be?
It's the money.
This is for residents of the state of Texas. But if your property is in Arkansas, then
wherever
when
your
you
marriage is
settle
at.
your divorce in Texas, they're going to count that Arkansas property. It doesn't matter where the property is at. You could be out of the country.
Are you talking about when you
have?
Gotcha.
No,
This is for the.
Think of it
it's
as
for the residents in Texas.
Think of it from the money perspective, not necessarily the property perspective. It's the money that you're spending that she gets half of. It's not the property. You still got your property. Your property is yours. She can't take half of it. But because you've been paying the mortgage, y'all was married for 10 years. You've been paying the mortgage for 10 years, regardless of where you're paying it at. That house could be in Mexico. But if you put money into that house, everything that you spent on that house, she gets half of. So you have to reimburse her the half if y'all were to ever get a divorce.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and yeah, we learned today. You're gonna learn today. And we'll go ahead and keep it moving. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. A couple of super chats came through. The AP Accountability Partner, $2 says, James, what are you drinking in that big ass mason jar? Like a strawberry.
That's that cranberry apple right there. That's cranberry and apple juice.
Okay. Cranberry apple juice. The AP Accountability Partner, $2 again, says salute to the panel. Thank you, sir, for your contributions. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. So I did come across this clip where two gentlemen were discussing prenuptial agreements, and I broke it down into like 3 or 4 videos. So we're going to get a reaction to it with the questions that I pulled from it. So here we go. Don't tell me we got that problem again. Okay.
Freeze up.
Let me see what's going on with this bullshit.
Sure. I was going to ask a point.
This format kind of cool.
I was going to say too, you got to be careful with the prenup agreement because if you got a retirement fund, say if you wrote that, hey, she can't get a part of your retirement, and then you started putting money from what y'all making in the marriage into that retirement fund, now it becomes a part of it. And I was like, man, it's crazy kind of how they got this.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's basically
it's scary.
With a prenup, basically anything that you make, anything that you spend within that marriage is community property outside of what you came into it. Like typically without a prenup, everything becomes community property. Whatever you come in with and you own is community property. But if you come in with the prenup and you own a property or you own this and anything that you make within that marriage is y'all's, not hers, not yours, y'all's. So if that money leaves the house,
does that apply to her money too?
Yeah. Oh, especially in Texas. Yeah, it applies to her just as much as it applies to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quick question. So let's say there was a situation like that, right? And she had spent a lot of money on, let's say, shopping all that or something like that. Would they weigh the money that she ran up on shopping against the money that you spent towards that property?
Technically, no, because y'all would have split her shit too. They would make Texas. If you can't agree on who gets what, they'd tell you got to bust everything down the middle. So that means you got to steal clothes and jewelry and all of that. They will make y'all bust it right down the middle.
They gonna see.
And it's all about the assets.
Yeah.
So the clothes and stuff wouldn't be considered an asset.
Yeah, they'd be like, you know what I mean? You got clothes, she got clothes, but it's mostly about the assets, the cars, the homes, the savings accounts, all of that. And they will make you sell the house and bust everything down the middle here in Texas. If y'all can't figure it out.
They don't care how many vacations she went on, Klaus. They don't count her vacations and all the mimosas she been drinking and shit. They don't count that.
Shit. So basically, even if you got a prenup, you still got to put everything in your mama name.
Yeah, because there's a lot of loopholes and different ways that they get around it. Once they get their lawyers, you see these women fighting it. They're fighting it and fighting this prenup, and you see what's going on. Look at Young Jeezy right now. They had a prenup, and she's like, "Oh wait, but look at this clause right here. You emotionally cheated. Check this out. You owe me 1.2 or whatever it was." So it's always some type of trickery or something like that. It's scary because it's like, damn, you might as well just do a spiritual marriage for real, because at least that way my assets aren't tied to yours. I'll take care of you as long as we are together. But if we're not, what the hell I need to be keep taking care of you for? What services are you going to continue to render that you used to? I'm responsible for doing my portion of the marriage forever, right? But you are relinquished of all your responsibilities. You don't have to service me in any way anymore, but I have to continue to take care of you for 20 plus years.
I will say
unless you're in Florida now.
I will say this though, in regards to Jeezy, that ain't gonna fly. Her trying to pull that out there because especially the timing of it, because she's trying to use it, because he brought up the fact that he wanted to see his child, and you try to throw this in there, and considering the fact that they came up with that ironclad prenup together. Ain't no way you can tell me that you got any proof that Jeezy violated.
So wait a minute, just so I'm up to date. She said emotionally cheated.
Basically, their prenup says that you can't text nobody, anything that has an inkling of you may have been talking to somebody else, whether via text, conversation, video chat. Anything can be considered cheating. And I think they both came up with this together. I'm like, that shit, as ironclad as that is, or as loose as that is, I guarantee you he ain't violate that shit. I guarantee it. Because she would have said it by now.
Mm-hmm.
She would have brought it up a long time ago if he was out here.
She would have led with
She's
that.
Scrambling now. She
would have led with that.
Figure something out.
Yeah, that was just her response to him saying that she's trying to play gatekeeper with their child. So this is her way of responding and saying, "Oh well, I'm about to come after you for more money because you sit over here because you want more visitation." She's weaponizing a kid in court.
Mm-hmm.
And all Jeezy and this is the problem, because all he's asking to be is a father. And this is what we talk about. This is what we as men talk about when we say, how is it that a man can, like, his only crime is asking to be a father? He's not fighting for anything else. He's literally fighting for his right to be in his child's life. And we look at these scenarios and be like, well, it is what it like. That's not it is what it is. This is ridiculous that we look at men and say, well, and I get it. We can say, oh, you should have picked better and everything else, but at some point there has to be some laws put into place for basic human rights. And every man should have
Sweeney, he shouldn't be asking. I mean, it's a guy. It should be a God-given right. I mean, he is the child's father. It should be a God-given right.
I never really looked into this, but I thought there was some contingency that as long as y'all was married, you could guarantee some type of visitation.
Not all the
but
time.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, not all the time. And I think that he was smart to and I think so I forgot. I think it might have been was it Pink Book Lessons or Reva? I can't remember which one it was. But they were talking about how he was smart to actually file the case in Georgia instead of obviously California, because this could have gone worse for him.
Facts.
And I think she might be feeling some type of way because he filed first. And this might have been her. She might have been thinking to do the same thing to him. And because he filed first, now she's trying to, she's trying to fight through the prenup. The same thing that's happening to Tyrese. Like, you signed the prenup, but now because you feel some type of way, you want to try to fight the very thing that you signed rather than honoring your word.
Marcus, you're right about that situation where the laws actually state that you're supposed to be able to have visitation rights, right? But the problem is it's not enforced nearly as much as if you were not to pay your child support. Your license will be stripped. Your passport will be stripped. You will go to jail, right? You can't pass go. You can't collect $200. But guess what? You're going to jail. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, it's not enforced nearly as much. And that's the problem. We don't have any type of legislation that would enforce. I mean, it's there. It's crazy. We do have the legislation, but it's not enforced. If it's not enforced, then it doesn't mean anything, right? Because nobody really cares. We normally just eat it. We normally don't say anything. We normally don't fight like we should. We're supposed to be in there with lawyers. And I know it'll break you because you're going to be spending all your money. You're already losing everything. Your finances are already exhausted. And now you have to go ahead and get lawyers to fight and fight and fight. And it's not an easy fight because nobody looks a man in his eyes and has any sympathy for him at all. They don't care at all. They don't care about us. They look at us, oh, well. Men and women judges alike. They could give a damn about you. They don't care. I know so many people going through this right now, doing all the right things. We're great fathers. I've seen it. I've witnessed it myself. People I know personally, closely. And it doesn't matter. Once that female is scorned and she wants to rip those children from you, she will weaponize that and be out. No matter if she cheated, you still pay alimony. That type of stuff is crazy. Why should I have to pay alimony if you cheated on me? That's crazy. Man, you destroyed the marriage and now I'm responsible for you.
You know, it's
that kind of leads me into a question, but Sweeney, you go ahead, then I ask my question after.
I got to get into as well, y'all.
I was about to say, you know what's jacked up though? The guys that I see get the most results out of these women though is the ones that tell these women, "Fuck you, I'll make another one." Oh, you want to do XYZ? Fuck you in that kid. I'll make another one, and they get the most results. All of a sudden, now she like, oh well, okay, I'll do it. But if you sit there and you fighting tooth and nail, because I done told a couple homeboys, I'm like, sometimes you got to know when to let the motherfucker go too. Kids start turning on you, leave them kids alone. They 8, 16, 17, they can make decisions on their own whether they want to come see you or not. And the mama don't weaponize them against you. 2 fingers. You and your mama can kick rocks.
Yeah, Sweeney, I can't agree to that, man. I'm not gonna leave my kids alone, man. God damn, man. Look, at the end of the day, that they part of you. Look, first things first, I'm going to do is try to have a conversation with this woman and come up to some type of agreement. That's the first thing I would encourage any man to do. Have a conversation. Now, if that heifer, if it's not going to go that way and she's straight up and down, don't want to try to do that, now I'm going to have to get legal representation and on about that. Now, we all know, I know in my state, child support's different from visitation. Totally different. So if I was that man, I'm trying to get full custody. Not 50%. I'm trying to get full custody. That's what I'm doing. And I'm going to fight it to the end. But I'm not going to just give up on my kids. I'll be goddamn. That's the last thing you would want to do.
I'll say it's a difference.
Listen,
I'm gonna say it's a difference between
hold on, Sweeney.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
When you make them type of statements, and you have a type of feeling, do you realize what you're doing to your child, especially your son? If you have a son, you realize he's first of all, the mother's going to sit there and use that as a weapon. See, he didn't want your ass. He don't even fight for you. And so now, guess what? He's more than likely to believe that because you're not in there trying to come over and visit, even try to maybe meet him at the school and say, hey, it's not like what your mother's saying. No, there's no way I would encourage any man to start fighting. I'll be goddamn. Get a part-time job if you have to pay that goddamn lawyer bill to get your kids. The hell with that heifer.
I wasn't saying throw a kid away if you fighting the mother. I said that when the kids start to fight against you, they 16, 17, they saying F you, F them. I ain't saying don't fight for your kid when you what? I'm talking about when you're talking about a kid that's openly disrespecting you along with the other parent, and we sit here and we try to live with that and try to eat that. That's the type of situation I'm saying. Don't fight, don't eat that. You don't deserve that.
Well, why
I think what's really important is avoiding this.
What happened with you and your son that he's to that point of F my daddy?
We know a number of things can happen that can occur. The parent, like oftentimes we see situations where the mother can turn the son against or turn the daughter against their father. And a lot of times there's no repairment no matter how much you try to talk to them. You know what I mean? No matter, then you become a disciplinary or you become the one that's too harsh or the one that's doing too much. And the kid don't want to be around you no more because in the state of Indiana, all it takes, they only got to be 13 years old before they can decide whether they never want to come stay with you anymore or come visit you. It only takes at 13, they have all the voice in the world to determine who they want to be with, who they don't want to be with. And that's the type of situations I'm talking about where you find yourself fighting the kid and the mother and not just the mom, because obviously you fighting the mom, you got to do what you got to do. But if you fighting that kid and your mama and you sitting over here, I don't condone no father taking disrespect when they shouldn't have to. Especially when there's no state on your side to fight against the disrespect. There is no government on your side to fight against the disrespect. The mother ain't helping you fight against the disrespect. Nobody's on your side. It's you versus everybody over there. And you're supposed to sit there and lose your head and lose your mind trying to fight for something. And that's what I mean when I said the people who get the most results are the ones that say, I'll make another one. Because when the reality is when you start telling them the truth, when you start telling them the truth and say, well, you know what? Look, you don't want to be with me? Fine. Maybe one day we can have a better relationship, but I'm not about to sit here and deal with this shit.
But Sweeney, when you are active father, I can't really see that happening, dog. If you are active father, you, regardless of what's going on, you still making sure you making your visitations. You're doing this, you're doing that. Damn.
I think I get what Sweeney's saying though, man, because part of leadership is also knowing when to cut your losses. I mean, as much as we want to, what he's saying, hold on. Let me finish. As much as we don't like the implications of what he's saying, let's keep it real, right? We always talk about men not being emotional and being good leaders. And sometimes being a good leader is putting your emotions to the side and realizing when a situation has failed and when it's time to walk away. So I think if that's what Sweeney's talking about, a lot of men are manipulated by their emotions. A woman knows that you don't want to walk away from the situation, so she'll use that to put you in a situation that's dangerous. So I do think that it does take a certain amount of strength to be like, you know what? I'm going to take this weakness and I'm going to wrap it up and toss it. You're not using this against me. But I think more importantly, what it's really about is making sure that these circumstances don't happen to begin with. And we were talking about prenups, and I don't think prenups could solve that. So I want to introduce this idea and see how y'all feel about this. Like, how do y'all feel about the idea of a preconceptual agreement? Because I find that a lot of people aren't getting married. A lot of people are just having a kid, and then they end up in a situation where they're stuck with this kid, they're stuck in a situation. But if you have a ironclad something written out saying what we will do in the case of conception, then you can completely weed out all of these problems.
You can't do it. Legally, you can't do it. You can't even include children in your prenup. There's no courts that will acknowledge anything. The kid is the most important thing, period, for all 50 states. So what you're saying has been thought about a lot of times and has been discussed. You know, what if we, you know, what when you before you go out there spreading your seed, I'll let her know we had an agreement. We wrote down some shit and we said that this is what's gonna happen. And then after she got pregnant, she changed her mind. Court's like, so what? I don't care about that paperwork.
Yeah.
Baby,
I
You
will
can't
say this:
legally file any type of paperwork. And on top of that, and
Nah.
even if it's not legal, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all men here. Like, that's something that could be lobbied for. Like, that's something we can talk about, formulate, and try to get that enacted. You get what I'm saying? Like, the more we talk about it, the more it becomes an idea. We can write senators. We can do things to kind of make laws happen. That's how this country works, right? So, if this is something that's a viable idea that can work, I don't see why men altogether can't rally behind a cause, talk to our representatives, and make it happen.
I will
But
say,
I think the only paperwork
I mean, that's
that's
because of the
I think the only
gynocracy.
paperwork that's recognized through the courts like that is when you're a sperm donor. That's the only thing that's like recognized that you don't
I
have
will
anything
say
to
this.
do with.
Surrogacy is a different
Yeah,
topic.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
the
it,
only time that you're like totally hands off and you don't have any claim to the child and you don't have any type of responsibility to the child.
I will say
But
this
that's
though:
it.
if you really want something that I learned, I can't remember what other male panel I was on. One thing that I did learn is that if y'all aren't married, well, if y'all are married, but when y'all have a child before there's any custody agreement, you have just as much right to that child as she does. And one thing somebody did tell me, they was like, oftentimes when men and women break up, the man wind up leaving the house, or he wind up going off somewhere, or he'll let the woman leave and take the kid with him. One thing I learned, they said, in the event that you break up with your woman, do not let that child leave your house, or do not leave that child behind. If anything, take them with you and let the court sort it out later. Because
but Sweeney, the thing about it, you got to establish custody if you're not married.
Yes, you do after the fact, but before there's any type of custody agreement, you have just as much right to take that kid as she does.
Well, also you got to establish paternity.
Not in California.
It may not be your child.
No,
you
what
have
I
to
mean,
establish paternity.
not
you
before.
know, guaranteed from that mother because it came from her. It's a possibility. It may not, or it may be yours. So you got to
obviously,
establish.
I'm talking about somebody who signed a birth
anything,
certificate. I'm talking about somebody who signed a birth certificate.
Yes,
you signed a birth certificate.
California.
Now I don't know about California, but I do know about several. I do know that a lot of southern states, and I know in the Midwest that when a child is born,
baby goes with. If you're not married in Cali, if it's just boyfriend girlfriend, y'all had a baby, the baby goes with the woman.
Yes. Yeah, California.
And if y'all had an apartment together and y'all signed a lease together and y'all living together and all that, and it's just you and your baby mama, and she decides to pack up the baby clothes and pack the baby bag and go, if you try to stop her at the door, you going to prison in California.
All right, let's get to this clip, y'all. Let's get to this clip. Go ahead and play it. The fuck? What's going on here? Hold on. Let me re-add it in there. I think it must be somewhere strange. All right.
Y'all need to move out of Cali.
Yeah, that state's way too blue.
Is that agreeing to having sex prior?
No, let's assume prenuptial.
Okay.
Let's assume prenuptial. Let's start there.
You want to take that one?
Yeah. So
God made attorneys.
Yeah.
So for me, right, I feel like that I'm not knocking people who do prenuptials. However, I do think that when you go in with the mentality of I need to protect my exit, then you are subconsciously putting yourself in a space where that's an option, right? So if I have to go in and protect my money from you, then I really don't trust you completely. If I got to go in and I'm thinking that there might be a day where we're going to get a divorce, then let me go ahead and establish this now. Subconsciously, I left that door open. So now it's one of those things that if ever there's a money issue, it's going to be a heightened thing to where I have to make sure that I'm protecting my investment over my relationship. So that's my stance, because I feel like if anything, you're going in hedging your bets on the possibility, then what you're doing is subconsciously creating the possibility.
And we don't accept that situation in any other scenario. Imagine a woman that says, I want to protect my future. So let me holler at this guy that I has been trying to get at me, and you'll be my plan B. So I'm just making an agreement with you.
Yeah.
If things don't work out with my husband and you're single, let's just pinky promise that we got this thing and we protect each other for each other. So if anything happens, we already know the deal. Would any man be comfortable acknowledging that type of agreement? No, that's wilding. It's the same mindset. You're going in planting a seed, and recognize, man, seeds grow.
I say plant the seed. Are you subconsciously creating an exit? Are you subconsciously creating an exit? I'm going to go to you.
Let me
Mark.
go first, there.
You want to go first? All right,
because he's speaking exactly what I talked about. I ain't gonna go long. Listen, fellas, ignore that bullshit. That is the fucking brainwashing mindset that has gotten men dragged so much. That's what, you know what? That's the guy. So the gynocracy, we talk about patriarchies and matriarchies and gynocracy. Remember, gynocracy is a system of government that is ran by women, enforced by men. So when Clout was asking, like, yo, why don't we get some laws to put together to get this stuff so men can't, because you got niggas like that that's not gonna do that, because they're gonna look at what women want, and pussy is power, and it's like, what you want me to do, baby? Okay, well, that's what I'm gonna do. And then so the whole mentality, the prenups are good for women and men. It's good for both people. It's insurance. It's an insurance policy. Well, you know, I don't want to start driving, and I don't want. Why should we get insurance? Because that's presupposing that when I get into the car, that I might fall asleep at the road, or something might happen, and I don't want to drive and get insurance saying that I'm protecting myself from getting sued, because I don't plan on drinking and driving. I plan on stopping at every red light. It's like, what? No, nobody wants to get a divorce. Nobody gets married to plan. Well, some people do, but by and large, we're not planning to get a divorce. But shit happens. And knowing that 97 people in a room of 100 are men that's paying alimony, a room of 100 people paying alimony, 97 of them are men, and only 3 are women. Alimony is paid out by men 97% of the time. How can you say, well, you know what, that I ain't that's what women, that's in fact the exact argument that women are using to not have a prenup. So do not listen to that. I don't know who's gonna come in and say something after me, but do not go into the mindset of, well, I'm putting it out there in the air that I might get a divorce. So then why should I do that? That means you don't trust me. You don't trust your girl. If you want a prenup, that's bullshit. Ain't got nothing to do with trust. It's called protection. That's all it is, man.
Go ahead, Marcus.
So I really appreciate all y'all insight, and I gotta defer to people who've actually been through this before when it comes to talking about these situations, right? I kind of lean to the, not lean to, but I stand on my plan B is to make plan A work philosophy. So I understand what they're saying in regards to planning for it to fail beforehand, but that does not negate the fact that you need to be smart in preparation, right? So I'm not against the prenup at all. But I would say I feel them on my plan B is to make the plan A work. That's really all I heard them saying. I read a book yesterday called As a Man Thinketh, and it was saying that the things we worry about, obsess over, or whatever comes into our sphere of just consciousness, we can start to have habits that then manifest the thing that we're thinking about. So if you constantly worried about the breakup occurring, right, then you can start looking at things like, this is going to be the thing she break up with me for. This is going to be the thing that we break up behind. This is going to be and you constantly have that in your circumference of thought. So it's just constantly gravitating around, and then you can manifest some of these negative outcomes based off of that. Now, is that exactly what's going to happen? I'm not saying it is, but I do believe that what you focus on and fixate on, it does radiate to you. There is a law of attraction, I believe, in my personal opinion. But again, I'm not against the prenup, but I understand what they're saying.
Look, you're not wrong about what you just said, but I think sometimes your plan B helps your plan A to work. You know what I mean? So like, you don't plan on crashing the car, right? But it helps to have better tires in preparation that you could skid off the road. It helps to have a seatbelt in preparation that you crash. It helps to have an airbag. It helps to have a roll cage or whatever, and all these safety features. Because yeah, you hoping not to crash, but in the case that you're in a situation where you might crash, we got traction control so you don't crash. We've anticipated that. In the case that you would get flung out your car and every bone in your body would break, we got a seatbelt for you. We've anticipated that. So by creating those parameters, you could actually be protecting your marriage too, because it's like now that woman knows exactly what she'll get if she leaves. And maybe what she'll get if she leaves isn't an incentive to leave, as opposed to having this mystery incentive of being able to say, oh, well, he's making more and more money every year and I can get half of that. You know, I got an incentive to leave now. But if I know if I leave right now, I'm stuck with 20,000 and in the ring, that might not be an incentive to leave. That might make her say, you know what? I know exactly what I'm gonna get if I leave this situation. It might be better to stick it out. So essentially, a prenup is what I look at as marriage insurance. And you know, I don't think there's any bad situation for having marriage insurance. Just like having car insurance or health insurance or dental insurance, you know, shit happens.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Nah, yeah, Clark Jones hit the nail on the head with that one, because women have been incentivized for years to not just get married, but to get divorced. That's like the real American dream for women.
Don't hit the Powerball.
Divorced.
Smooth. Don't hit that lottery smooth.
Like, when you think about it, it just kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. They get to win with the separation, because you now have to still provide for them. They could get a whole new sausage somewhere else, a whole new dude to beat them in the head, a whole new dude to love on, hug, you know, just listen to what they talking, whatever it is that they want. They can do that, right? And then still get service from you while you get nothing. So now you have two men taking care of you potentially, or even more, who knows, legally. And you are stuck out here. So it's incentivized. What can we do to stop making it an incentive for women to actually leave, right? Now, the only thing I would say, Marcus, what you were talking about, right? I feel like people are not like what you're describing. Like I know what you're saying with that, but most of these women out here are wicked, man. Like, you can go into a relationship with the woman and she's be everything in the beginning. She topping you off in a whip when you first meet her. She's respectful when you first meet her, right? She watching them videos with you when you meet her, right? She's cooking for you when you meet her. All this stuff she doing. By the time she get comfy, man, you locked in. She got the claws in. It's over. That's how most women behave. And I definitely understand that it's awesome to have good faith in somebody and go into a situation with good faith, but it's crazy to do that, because you can't control what another person is going to do. Sure, you can motivate. Sure, you can coax. You can inspire. All of these are great things, but most of these women out here have trauma that they healed from, right? Just like us men, right? But what they do with their trauma is different. They will inflict that pain that they have on you. Things that they went through that they never addressed. They will hate you. Love and hate is the same thing inverted. If a woman is madly in love with you, she's going to be madly in hate with you after time. She lose respect for you. It's so many things that normally go wrong. And the data shows that you have at least a 50% chance to lose it all. And you can't tell me that the 50% that is left, those men are happy. Some of them are just dealing with it, going into their shells, tolerating it just to survive. So I love the idea of being able to go into a situation with good faith, but you can't control what that other individual is going to do. But I think we have to start with the conversations. We have to have these conversations in the beginning. When you first meet a person, when you start talking about getting serious, you have to talk about your finances, right? With your finances, what's your credit score? You know, what is it that you're making? What are your goals? What are you planning to do? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? How many children do you want to have? And, oh, yeah, how do you feel about a prenuptial agreement? When you start to get serious, these are the conversations that you have to have. So you won't feel embarrassed or afraid or timid to talk to her about that like the week before, like, damn, I got to tell her, and just try to shove the paper in her face. Because at that point, you know, a prenup can be voided. Sometimes they're void if you bring it too close to the marriage. A lot of people don't know that. So that can happen as well. So you have to be careful of when you present it. You want to do it with lawyers that are good, and you want to make sure it's not in a close proximity to when you are getting married. You want to have these things established from the door when you're building the foundation of your relationship. So at least they know how you coming. And if they ain't with that, F them.
Okay, so Dre, I agree with y'all on that can be a useful tool, and probably everybody should get it. I'm not arguing that, right? What the part I disagree with is I don't think people are just changing. I think people ignoring signs, and then stuff pop out and it finally become too much. The narrative that she was doing everything perfectly, and then as soon as she got married, she switched and became a new person. I sincerely don't believe that's what's happening. I just don't. Like, I just don't. I think maybe you ignore some things, and then they became blaringly obvious once some normalcy came to their relationship.
Bro, I'm sorry. I have to.
You're right about that.
Because hold on, I have to interject. We live in a world where people have entirely different lives on social media than they have in real life. Where we live in a world where it's actually the easiest to live a double life than ever. If she got 2 phones, she's 2 different people. If she got 2 Instagrams, she's 2 different people. So I don't know how you could kind of say that, because it's like there's so much privacy, like just with the phones, like I was talking about. Like nowadays, it's like, yo, like if a woman wants to be somebody completely different on Monday and another person on Wednesday or whatever case, she can do that very easily. She can hide stuff from you very easy. And in fact, if you make any effort to figure out what she's hiding, there's a lot of shaming language for that. There's sassy, insecure, this and that, this and that. So I don't know if that what you're saying is 100% true in that regard, that a woman can't just switch up on you. Like you're talking about. Listen, you're talking about girls. The women today, you gotta remember, bro. We'll have red hair on Monday, blue hair Tuesday, green hair on Wednesday. You understand what I'm saying? Like look like a different person. If you go through their Instagram pictures, they do not look like the same person in 2 pictures, bro. And for years, you go through all the pictures. For years, not one picture looks like the same person. So if they could do that, bro, they could definitely pull a fast one on you.
Oh, everybody that I oh shit. Everybody that I know that was in a relationship that ended, right? I could have told you that relationship was going to end from the beginning, because I saw the signs. And it's things that even if it's some people, you could pull their coattail to something and they'll just get mad at you and continue down that path. I think it's way more of them than women who are playing the perfect position, and then the moment they get what they want, flip the switch and become something different. I genuinely do. And if I don't know if everybody got a friend like that, but they're friends, you know, who had discernment, who could look at people and kind of really suss them out and feel what energy that they vibrating from. And they could be like, bro, even if they trying to be polite, like, I don't know if this is the exact person for you. They dancing around it, but you ain't trying to hear that. A close family member asked me a question before he got married, and he was like, what you think? I was like, will my answer make you not go forward with this marriage? He was like, no. I was like, all right, well, it don't matter. She great. I see something, but if what I'm seeing and I point out won't change nothing for you, I'm not going to just ruin our relationship, because you don't want to hear that shit for real. And I think it's way more people that do that than actually move forward with somebody and they just became a whole nother person.
It's easy to see when you're not in the situation too. Like from the outside looking in, you can see everything clear. You know, when you're right in front of that person, it's like it's different.
No, yeah,
And
Marcus,
even
the
oftentimes,
main thing.
they may have a feeling about somebody, like, I don't know about her. But then if it's a red sign, if it's a red flag, they should be able to directly tell them. And oftentimes they can't really directly tell them. So people do flip up. Now I get you. I got a famous, one of my most famous memes or videos I did, a Shannism called. I said, if you identify the red flags the first time, then imagine how much time and money you'll save. Right. So I believe you, man. A lot of people just ignore these that pussy good. Man, I know she look crazy, but goddamn, Lord, the way she and so they ignore these red flags. They do, but also, motherfuckers do switch up though. Marcus, it seems like between this week and last week, I've been disagreeing with you a lot, and I don't know if something's going in the water because I normally rock with you, but I'm like, yo, Rockers, you got to know that there are some Oscar award-winning actors and actresses out there.
I don't
people
care.
That will make you, that will sell you
I
something,
know.
and you will be like, who the fuck is that? I do not know who you are now, because you are nothing like I dated. And this is not no red flag. This ain't where I kind of should have saw that and I just was so in bliss that we were together, I ignored it. No, your ass became somebody I never seen before. And your mama never seen them either. And neither is your coworkers. We know how to code switch at work.
You know what though?
Y'all saw that
women
video,
make a
that
career
meme
of that.
like, man, follow
Let
me on
Shannon get his words
Facebook.
out.
Oh man, I can't follow. You can't. I'm a damn near gangster at home. Motherfuckers know that you can switch up. We switch up at work. So you gotta believe that some people will become somebody that they probably don't even recognize once they get into a relationship and get comfortable.
So
that's the thing.
You know, I would even challenge Shan. I'll even challenge that maybe you don't even fully know that person. Maybe you never did. You know, that's a part that people don't really think about. I mean, you're dating somebody for how long? Sometimes a year, maybe, before you make a decision, maybe 2 years before you get down on one knee and propose. Come on now, she's had an entire lifetime before you. An entire lifetime, and you've had her for a year or so.
So
you know how many dudes she had before you? You may or may not. I mean, she didn't have quite a bit of D before she ran into yours. She didn't have other boyfriends before she ran into you. She did some things. She had a whole life before you. So, you know, are there some award-winning actresses out there? Yes, there are. Do women switch up like that? Yes, they do. They switch up like that. But to Marcus's point, there are red flags, there are signs that dudes tend to ignore, that they don't want to deal with, they don't want to see. I got some homeboys, same way. There's some shit that came up, and I'm like, I know you just saw that, didn't you? You didn't see that? Because I just saw that shit. She topped you off, so it's cool now. Oh, okay, you wore her out last night, so it's all good. You're not even going to address it. You're not going to talk about it. Okay, bet. I'm going to notate it. And then as time goes on, those things kind of add up. And if they're getting towards the end or close to the marriage or close to the wedding, and they're like asking their boys, so what y'all think? It's too little, too damn late to be asking that shit. And if you are asking that shit, deep down inside, you know something's off. You know something's wrong. If you got to sit up here and have to reassure yourself all the time, you have to always defend her or always defend yourself to your boy. You already know something's wrong. You already know deep down inside you're fucking up and you're making a mistake. So we gotta stop lying to ourselves. I tell my friends, I tell my boys, it is what it is. If we fall out, we fall out. But I'm not about to sit up there and watch you do something without me saying my piece. And I'm not going to do it at the altar and be like, hey, speaking now forever, hold your peace. Yeah, you should marry her. No, I ain't going to do that. But ahead of time, best believe I'm be like, bro, I don't know. I mean, you saw this, you saw that. What you think? What did you see? What did you see? You know, and then after that, that's on them. But I said my part and I did me. I was a real friend. I was a real one. I was a stand-up guy, and I said my part. So
man, that's like literally what I did. I asked the questions and showed the narrative of how it was going to work, but didn't make a definitive statement because I've been through this too many times. I know how people respond, Because when you see it and they don't, and you point it out, bro, they normally lash out at you. It's like when you see a couple fighting and you try and step in and separate it, the couple jump you. It's one of those type of scenarios, right? And
But that's when you know it's fucked up, though. You know it's
Y'all heard
messed
what
up.
Eve said, man.
I give you a prime. I give you a prime example.
that.
I had a friend. We had a party, right? It was his birthday party. Old girl that he was dating came in, and we was at the table with a couple of the girls we went to high school with. She seen that, got mad, stormed out, and ran down the street. He got up. I stopped him. I put my hand on his shoulder, like, bro, sit back down. Do not chase this girl. You chase her now for this silly shit, you're gonna be chasing her for the rest of your relationship. And what's happening? He going through the same thing, getting ran through the ringer, specifically because of that. Another dude, when we was getting money, I'm like, bro, don't spend all your money on her every day. You're gonna set a standard, and she gonna expect it. And she the type of person that's not gonna let you live this down. Man, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna. Soon as stuff start, you know what I'm saying, getting a little shaky when what we was doing. Now he got to get out here and like he ended up dying trying to do some extra stuff to make the money that we was previously making. Like it's just I seen it time and time again. Like I continuously see that, bro. And men know what they be doing, bro. Like you know that you are choosing to ignore these signs of somebody. Now, is there somebody out here who could be a incredible Academy Award actor? I say that's the minority. I don't think the vast majority of these people are out here being able to maintain a personality, or you're not looking at them. Like when I say look at them, I mean when you're not looking, the best way to see somebody is by not looking at them, right? Because when the situation don't involve you, how do they interact with their cousin, that one person that they hate at work? What is their thought process behind engaging with them at work? How do they deal with adversity? Do they always want to get like one thing about me? I'm not dating women that want to get their lick back. Like if you are the type of woman who says you do me wrong and I'm gonna get revenge, that's one of the biggest red flags you can ever have, because that lets you know that one day you're gonna be the person that do her wrong and she gonna take her revenge out on you. And she could have been even killed the whole time, but you knew that was her personality trait. I when I used to fire people from the job, I never fired nobody for what they did. I always fired people for how they brain work. I want to know how your brain works so I could predict things that you may or may not be capable of moving forward. And I think it's a lot of that in relationships. If you just look at how somebody, like when you really get to know somebody past their looks and dissect the way their thought process is, you can find out a whole lot about them without them telling you nothing, without them saying nothing.
But Marcus, a whole lot changes too when they get real comfortable. A whole lot changes when they get comfortable. You gotta be mindful of that. When the comfort sets in, when they think they're safe, they got it, everything's in the bag.
Claws in.
Claws are in. Watch everything and see how the dynamic changes. See if they start, acting a little different, acting a little funny. Because when they get relaxed and chill, they're not gonna have that same energy. Certain ones aren't gonna have the same energy they had before because they ain't got to. They won the championship ring. A lot of women's goal is just to get the ring, not to be married and build a wonderful life and a wonderful family, but it's to actually get the ring. So just be mindful of that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, honestly, I agree with Marcus on this point, because the only difference is when you're not paying attention, it's like subtle, it's like small little things you gotta look for. But a lot of us miss it because guys, we thinking about all this other type of stuff. We got work, if you got kids, you got to think about them. You got family, you got to make sure everybody's taken care of. So a lot of small little things we miss. So then when she started doing the big stuff, now that's when you see it. But if you was paying attention to the whole thing, you already knew she had a bad attitude. You already knew she don't know how to respect men. You already knew she didn't probably have a dad in her life. She have all this trauma and all this type of stuff built up. Or she don't respect the man that's in her life, because if she respect the man that's in her life, that means she will look at you as the man that she want that was in her life too now, because you're supposed to be taking over. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of little signs that is kind of subtle that we miss, and then because like Shannon said, we in the box, so we just thinking about that type of stuff, and then once. Once that started wearing off, now it gets old. Now we start looking at, oh, dang, I need to get rid of her. I'm tired of her type of deal. And now I'm on to the next one. And then the cycle just repeat.
So I think
But we expecting people to have game though. Not everybody has discernment. Not everybody has game. Not everybody has a male positive role model in their lives. We're talking from a certain space, right? Like most of us had that. Most of us have game that's up here sitting right now. But a lot of us help other people that are in our lives that don't have a damn clue. All of these things that we take for granted, right? That how we could just see we have discernment, we have game, we know how to peep things, right? There's a lot of younger dudes and some older who just don't have a clue. They're gonna miss it. They're not gonna be able to observe that. So at the very least, just protect yourself. That's what I would say, because not everybody's going to have that. Some people try really hard and they just don't get it. They're always going to be socially awkward. They're never going to get it. They're not going to understand people. Some people just don't get it. And I've tried to help people. They can see things happen. And then part of that good faith that we were talking about a little bit more, they want to save them. Sometimes they be like, no, I see the good in her. I'm going to give her what she wants. And I'm sure she's going to change for me. That's what people do, right? And it's all wrong. But most of these guys are not going to get it. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to get it. So what I'm telling you is people who listen to us, I think they will. But if you're not, they won't. Like if they're or somebody else who knows the game, they're not going to know. The very least, protect yourself no matter what, because all these guys ain't going to have that game that you're taking for granted right now. You feeling like everybody should have this gift. It's a gift. This sermon's a gift. It's not common. Right? That game is not common. That's what we have to understand. We have to be able to empathize with the people who weren't blessed or fortunate or whatever you want to call it, to have those role models in the lives that we did, to be able to discern the way we do. It's different for everybody, right? Everybody has different experiences and they all weren't dealt the same deck. Of course, they don't have the same hand. So you're fortunate. You had the things that helped you get at that game and everything, but a lot of people don't.
Hold on, Marcus. Hold on, Marcus. See, this is where I have to disagree. We giving men way too much of a pass in this department. And I hear a lot. Some people choose motherfuckers despite of. Oh, yeah, I get that. Just speaking of his homeboy that he said he was chasing, he chased out the room. And he stopped him and said, hey, bro, don't follow her because you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. Yeah, I know, but it is what it is. I like her. Some people choose despite of. Even though I know she may be problematic in this area, I still love her. Oh, yeah, I know she may be this, but I still love her. And we give dudes way too much credit a lot of the times that sometimes we choose motherfuckers and we stick with them despite the fact that they may be bad for us, or despite the fact that they may have shown a red flag. It ain't that we ignore it. It's just that we say it is what it is. But I love her because she does this, and this. Yeah, I can deal with that court. Yeah, I know she may be digging in my pockets, but I like that, but I like her for this. And the thing is that because I do believe that some people change overnight, but I don't think that's the norm. I would honestly say that a lot of people change over a period in time. And I was just talking to somebody in the comment section about this. It takes a lifetime to get to know somebody. A lifetime. You don't know how they're going to handle death. You don't know how they're going to handle loss of job. You don't know how they're going to handle having a child. You don't know how any of these things are going to go down. They can talk to you. You can know their core values. You can know all of that. But life has a way of showing you that you don't really know yourself the way that you think you do. And sometimes lifestyle changes put rifts in between people. What happens if she finds God and you just chilling? She no longer wants to drink. She no longer wants to eat certain foods.
Nope.
You the best you the best man in the crib when it comes to barbecue, and your wife don't eat your barbecue no more because she don't eat pork. Now you walking around the house feeling some type of way.
Yeah, you know I forgot to say that.
Marcus, hold there real quick. I got some videos. Want to make sure we comb through it. So just to further the conversation, I'm gonna go ahead and play the videos periodically in between.
So is there an exception for my brothers who have a level of wealth that they've already established
without any
involvement of that woman or relation? Do you think is that an exception, or do you think that he still should walk in, not even planning for an exit, thinking about it, and just walk in and have that level of exposure there in the way he sees it, right? Of his assets, if it were to fail. What's your thoughts on that? For that brother in particular, keep in mind this brother This when we talking about 1-2%, may at most top 10% brothers, but still.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
And let's just acknowledge that not all men have we're not all created equal. So we don't all have the same equal level of discernment, equal level of opportunities. We don't all meet the same people.
Yeah. Right.
So some men could genuinely make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So I feel like it's twofold. I think the difficulty for the man oftentimes who's amassed wealth and success has become insulated in what's best for him, right? So while it may be a good business move to protect your wealth, right? It makes sense from a business perspective. A lot of times when men reach a certain level of success, a wife becomes an accessory and not a necessity.
Come on, bro.
Wow.
So now I just need somebody just to be here to rub my back, and not because I really don't need you.
Talk.
Right. So if you're dispensable and you're not a necessity to me, then of course I'm going to protect what I value most.
It's just to further the conversation. It's a business decision for wealthy men. For a wealthy man, a wife becomes an accessory and not a necessity. Let me see if I can get Hinkin.
Yeah,
I think there's some truth to that.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get
Some truth to it.
Hinkin as I know you've been pretty quiet. And James, I'm not sure if you spoke. All right.
So going off what's been said so far, it's crazy. But as far as this, I don't even know what to say, man. I really don't, because I kind of understand both aspects of it, of not going there with an agenda, with a failed mindset. I do understand that. I respect that, and that's the mindset that I go by. I'm all about one pot. So whatever we got. We come together as one. I've been moving like that. Now I will continue to move like that. That's the mindset I always had. I always will. But I do understand going out prepared, protecting yourself. Now, with talking about what we was talking about right before this video, as far as this other stuff, man, I don't know what to say about that. Really, I really don't. I really don't. So go ahead, James.
Oh, go ahead, James.
Whoever was supposed to go next.
Man, honestly, I blame Sweeney for this, man.
What?
And the reason why I blame Sweeney is because Sweeney lined these men up, and they went out there talking crazy. Sweeney gave them that fresh lineup. So no.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be real with you. Ain't none of us, including that dude in that video, gotten to the wealth level where a woman becomes an accessory and not a nobody. Like, cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what it's like to have a trophy wife. Cause that's basically what they just said. They talking about trophy wives. I don't even know what that looks like to have the type of money where a woman just becomes a trophy. Like, no, there's no time in our life. I'm not here to speak. I don't want to really speak for the men on the panel here, but I'm just being real with y'all. I don't believe any of us have got to the wealth level where a woman literally becomes a trophy on your shelf, where she's not needed no more, where there's no need for her, where there's no job for her other than just sit there and look pretty. We talking about, I swear I can bet my bottom dollar these niggas is talking about some shit you seen on TV. Because the reality is, I don't think we live in those type of lifestyles where a woman just sit there and look pretty, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. Like, you ain't got no use for her other than just an accessory. Nigga, you don't know what that shit look like, man. You don't make that kind of bread. You know what that shit look like.
I can't believe it, Jesus.
See, I disagree with Sweeney on that. I think there's some truth to what dude was saying, but I don't think that requires you to have wealth. I think that when a dude has anything that is more important to him than his relationship, whether it be a business, whether it be his money, whether it be his purpose, whether it be his congregation, whether it be his ministry, whatever, I feel like that is going to elevate him to a position where any woman in his life is like an accessory, because to him, the focus is what he's doing. And the only thing she can do that can benefit him is to assist him in what he's doing. he like when you're living life in that manner, you don't really have energy to divert towards the relationship being your priority. Like if you're a pastor, your flock is your priority, and whatever woman you with is going to be an accessory to you being a pastor. Everything is going to do in her life is going to align with the fact that you're a pastor. What you do as a pastor is not going to be aligning with she wants you to do as a husband, because your job is bigger than just being her husband. So I think that it's not really about money. I think that again, when you're in a certain position and you're focused in a certain way, absolutely a woman could become an accessory, and you just see that manifest with wealthy men more, because they tend to be the ones that have that type of great sense of purpose, whether it be they have, very involved careers, or whether it be they have a lot of people to manage. So I just think it's as simple as that. Like if you're a man with things to do, you got a empire you building, you're not really going to be focused on your partner like that. Now if you're just, if that's not what you're looking for in life, and you don't have like a specific purpose that's bigger than you and your family that you're working towards, then absolutely, then yeah, she's going to be a necessity, because your only goal is to be in this relationship and have kids and have this family. So in order to fulfill that, you're going to need a wife. But if you feel like you have a purpose that's beyond family, then yeah, well, a wife's going to be an accessory to you.
But that ain't that way we're supposed to, because in order to provide, in order for us to build, in order for us to be innovative and do all these things, you have to go to, you have to be in that box and, in your square. So you make sure you creating these things, like all these amazing inventors, all these artists and stuff like that, that created all these great things that we enjoy today. They had to be about their business, but in order to be able to provide for their families, in order to do all that type of stuff. So I think what the guys actually is just trying to do is trying to get like a large female audience, to be honest with you. And then the way to do that is doing this and saying this type of stuff. But we live in a fast food generation. Everything we want everything quick, we want everything fast. And divorce is not shamed anymore, just like some of the brothers said earlier. So of course, a lot of people are going to try to protect themselves. We not in the glory days where people stayed, they had a family over here. We had successful relationship that that they just happened, so I just think he's just trying to sell, to the female audience. And if you asked him, is he married or would he sign a prenup if he had all that money, he probably would. So
go ahead and speak on the topic.
Look out for these women, man. I'm sorry, Bina.
No, go ahead.
As far as looking out for these women, fellas, we just got to pay attention and find somebody in your life that you know who has a successful, healthy relationship, and ask questions and be inquisitive. Make sure you pay attention to everything she does, even the way how she handles her own friends. Pay attention to all that. Investigate, interrogate. Look into her social media. Pay attention to all that bullshit she's dealing with. That's going to tell a story right then and there if you pay attention. Now, if you're not going to pay attention because you're enamored about big titties and big old ass and that juicy cat, yeah, well, you deserve whatever you're about to get. Good luck with that shit. So, Marcus, your buddy, he deserved everything he got, man. If he didn't listen to what you had to say and he went off anyway and tricked his ass off, he's deserved everything coming, dog. The only thing I can do is you better open your couch up to him, because he's going to need somewhere to lay his head at night, because she about to put his ass out, take her for every goddamn thing. So fellas, please pay attention to what's going on around you. Have some conversation. Even those who may have been through divorce, saying multiple times, like my man Shan, I've been through a divorce. Have a conversation with me on how you deal with it, how you maneuver through it, what you want to do and what you don't want to do. If you are into getting a prenup, hey, I encourage you to ask questions, talk to a lawyer, be like I said, be very inquisitive, have that conversation. If that's what you feel like you need, or whether you have the means or not, do what you have to do. But make sure you pay attention to what's going on with the woman who you are considered to possibly be a wife one day, and that you're going to bless her with your last name. Make sure she's always on the up and up.
All right, hold tight, y'all. Before I'm going to go to be mad, and I'm going to play another clip, and we just get Shan and Clout, some of the people that haven't talked.
It really just proves your value system, because here's the real truth. In essence, if I am choosing someone on the basis of what fulfills my desire and not my destiny, then I'm already setting myself up for failure, because if I'm only choosing you, I'm successful and all I need is somebody to rub my back or make me feel good, or, you know, whatever the case may be, then I'm not choosing a wife. So then I'm entering into an agreement with someone who's not qualified for this position. I'm choosing someone just because of how you make me feel. That's not a wife. So if I'm going to marry somebody and enter into a legally binding agreement that you are my wife, then I need to be careful about how I choose a wife. And the problem is that men reach success and all they think about now is what makes me feel good, because now I'm successful. So now I can be focused on me.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, the more success you actually accumulate, it should become very hard for you to connect with people, because now I need a specific woman. That if I'm in the top 1%, then the woman I look for has to be super strategic. She has to be able to meet the needs that I have mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, be able to steward. If I'm a successful man in top 1%, I'm not looking for somebody who's sexy. I'm looking for a good steward. Because your job is to come in and we are going to grow and steward this together. So I'm not just looking for someone who looks good and makes me feel good. Can you come beside me and help me steward this 1%? Can you come beside me and help us grow this even more? Can you come beside me and give me the safe place that I need to create, to give me the safe place that I need to develop and step fully into my purpose? Because success financially, I hate to break it to you, it's not your purpose.
Well,
you being successful financially, you can have all the money in the world. It's a lot. I know a lot of very, very wealthy, miserable people.
All right. Your value system when it comes to choosing a wife. Go ahead, Shan.
That man contradicted the shit out of himself, bro.
Yep, I was just about to say
Everything
that.
he just said was oxymoronic.
I'm
Listen.
All right, let me no, hold on.
Can I just add something real quick?
Hold on, Cloud.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, these dudes about to go on tour or what? I mean, they got R&B album coming out, because all they doing is serenading the women. That's all they're doing. I mean, they trying to sell tickets. They're out here trying to get their social media following up. Yeah. How I feel and how the men feel, and if I'm wealthy and what I feel, and yeah, he's talking out both sides of his neck. You know, Sweeney, you probably did edge them up, because they got they got some enhancers in there. I don't know what's going on with these dudes. I mean, I thought your art was a little bit better than that, because with the razor, because they sprayed up. Them dudes are sprayed up. I just can't.
I never trust nobody with that much spray on their forehead.
When they got all that spray, y'all can't trust them. Y'all can't trust them. Do not listen. Look at all this.
That's makeup for men, bro.
All this is spray. All of this is
that
spray,
fade is crazy.
Spray.
That fade is all spray.
It's all spray. Like, his hairline is back to where, like, the hair.
He got like 2 inches behind it. Yeah, he got like 2 inches of spray,
including
it's
the beard.
all spray. Ladies, I'm gonna say this right now. Ladies, do not be fooled. Ladies, do not be fooled. Like, literally, as soon as he lays on the pillow, it's all coming off. It's all coming off.
Oh no, mine don't come off.
Pillow,
mine
it's
don't
all
come
coming off.
As
soon as he starts sweating, a little bit, all that black is just gonna start seeping down. Okay. All right, we're done with the wolf tickets. Yeah,
man, you're gonna be the third member of the R&B group, ain't you?
Hell no. This is all me right here. This is all me. They saying,
I know that's
me.
Right.
Me.
Please tell me you caught what I had. Please tell me you caught what I caught, Shannon.
It's all natural right here, baby.
Look, man.
You ain't gotta worry about nothing.
Please tell me you caught what I caught.
So, we definitely call all of that. So, on the subjects, all right, for real. I'm a very spiritual person. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm very spiritual. I'm big on intentionality. You know, kind of what Marcus was talking about. I'm big on intentionality. I'm big on what you think about, what you focus in on.
and what the intentions you put out into the universe, into the world, and can create your own reality and all that kind of stuff. I'm really big on that personally. But today we standing on business. Okay, we standing on business. I'm standing on my business, and we are getting the paperwork handled. He started talking about how important it is to choose your woman and choose who you are, because you're getting into a legally binding contract with them. So you can't just end up with anybody. What's wrong with the legally binding contract that protects your ass and her ass? There is absolutely nothing wrong with protecting yourself, especially when women in this country nowadays are incentivized to leave. When they are incentivized to bounce and get that check, get that alimony check, day and night, no matter what, every month, no matter if they got a new boo, got a new boyfriend, got a new Mr. D, they gonna get that check regardless. Plus the child support on top of that, if y'all decide to have kids, or if you have kids before y'all break up. Like, it is a cha-ching money situation, money pot, if they decide, today I woke up and I decide I'm not happy anymore. I mean, come on. We all know women and emotions can be fickle. We all know that they can wake up one day and be a totally different person, like what Marcus and Shan was talking about earlier. So there's no way, there's no rhyme or reason why, especially if you've got some cash. I mean, this is really for anybody, but if you really got that 1%, 2%, there's no reason in the world why you shouldn't have protection. You shouldn't have that Trojan prenup. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. And they have post-nups out there too. I know some people are talking about there's some post-nups out there as well. But get a prenup, you protect yourself, you protect her. What we haven't talked about in this podcast yet is that there's an incentive for them to stay in the marriage, because in certain agreements, you can have it set up to where if we hit a 5-year mark, you get X amount of money. You hit a 10-year mark, you get more money. You hit 15-year mark, you get even more money. Like you have anniversary dates that's in the agreements of what kind of payouts they get, what properties they may get, because they stuck in there longer with you. Earlier, you were talking about about the model wife or the trophy wife. Earlier, you speaking on that, Sweeney. I know Shan can speak to this. I know some. I know plenty of women that are quote unquote trophy wives, or would be the trophy type. Okay. And they do bring value. They bring a lot of value when it comes to having somebody beautiful on your arm when you're going to these galas, when you're going to these high net worth events, when you're trying to raise money, when you're trying to build foundations. They have a great mouthpiece. They're educated. You know what I'm saying? They're great. They're a great woman, beautifully. So what you want to procreate with, you want to have children with them, bind your DNA with their DNA, and have beautiful kids as well too. There's a lot of value that comes from that. It's not just look at her. She just sits here and she's pretty all day. No, she's got to come with value as well too. So I'm not going to sit up here and shit on the trophy wives, because they can get it. It's very real. But yes, you want a woman that has all the things, that she's loving you and she's all about you. And when you are in that top 1%, you do want to focus in on a particular woman that checks all the boxes for you. Because why shouldn't you have all the great things in life? So if you have all the things that she checks all the boxes and she really is there for you, then go for it. Be with her, but make sure you got that protection. I'm landing there.
Yeah, I wanted to point out something though that I also thought that the dude said that was extremely contradictory, which is he went through this whole thing about about an accessory, a woman being an accessory and a woman being a necessity, and he was trying to describe that. Now, I just want to read to y'all with the definition of an accessory, which is, it says, a thing which can be added to something else in order to make it more useful, versatile, or attractive. So the irony is everything that he just described on the discernment you need to have to pick a woman. He described a woman that would be a great accessory. He didn't describe a woman that was a necessity. And the funny thing about, if a woman is supposed to be a necessity, like what he's saying, then that means you would pick any woman because you just need a woman. And so you wouldn't be actually, if a woman's supposed to be a necessity, like he says, then you wouldn't be discerning, because you're not discerning over water when you're dying of thirst. You're not discerning over food when you're dying of hunger. So things that are actually needs are the things that you're not discerning about. You're discerning about the accessories. You get what I'm saying? Like if you need to go out and, like, you get what I'm saying? Like your car has to have tires. Your car has to have gas. You're not worried about that. You're gonna put whatever gas goes in there. But the color of your car, the type of seats you got, the brand of your car, how the music system sounds. Those are all the things you're gonna worry about. And that's exactly what he described. A woman who he said was a steward to what you're doing, helping what he's doing to look more attractive, be more useful, and more versatile. That's an accessory. So that's a completely contradictory statement. And I think he wanted to use the word necessity again because of, I forget who said it, but he wanted to use that because that's a word that's going to be attractive to women. Women are going to hear that and be like, yeah, get you a necessity wife and all of that stuff. But he was describing an accessory.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, this is a little off subject, but I wanted to say, Shan, when you were saying we've been disagreeing the last couple of weeks. So I appreciate your perspective, right? And it furthers a conversation when we disagree. I think it makes for a better show. As long as we remain respectful and no ad hominems and none of that type of stuff, I welcome that all day long, because it furthers the conversation at the very least. At the very least. So I appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna go to Shan after this.
Hey, I want.
We're gonna go to Shan. And then we'll
Okay.
So I think that when you go in, and if you reach that place of success, there needs to be a level of intentionality now of how am I securing a mate? Because if I'm just looking at an accessory, someone that just looks good, I'm looking for a trophy, and I'm not looking for a wife, but I put a trophy in a wife's position, then I'm jeopardizing everything that I've built. So if you build success, I think that needs to narrow your focus. Mm-hmm. Like it's beyond beauty. It's beyond, what you look like or how you make me feel, or the tangible aspects. It's how can you help me maintain peace of mind? Can you help me to cultivate vision for the next? Because if the real truth is this, if I've amassed this great sense of wealth, right, and it somehow just doesn't work, I didn't lose the essence of me that created the wealth in the first place.
Talk.
So if I was able to build it and establish it and create it, and for some reason, if I chose incorrectly, or if this just didn't work, or something happened and this happened and now I have to pay it, I didn't lose me.
Talk.
So if I created it once, I can create it again. I can reproduce it all over again.
Right.
But am I getting tied to the money? Is this what I'm really married to? And I just want you to be almost, I'm making my wife my side chick to my money.
The greater commitment is to the money.
Yeah, because that's what happens, is I want to make my wife my side chick to my money. And so then it's okay, I don't look at you in the proper light. I just need you to come here and make me feel good. I need you, even though you have the title of a wife, I need you to fulfill side chick duties.
What?
Because my money, my business, that's my wife. That's what I'm married to.
Would y'all be okay if
a
woman had a prenuptial agreement on her mind to protect her wealth, getting into relationship with y'all?
Yeah. If you don't get this clown off the screen, JR,
exactly.
Get this clown.
That's the last video.
Shannon, I just want to know, did you catch what I caught?
Spray seeping
I
into
see
their brain.
your face. I just want to know what Shannon caught, because I know he caught the same thing I caught.
I don't know. What was it, sweetie? One thing that stuck out was that where he was mentioning men and their feelings, but I don't know what you caught, Sweeney. Go ahead. I probably didn't, because I heard so. Go. What did you catch, Sweeney?
All right. So first and foremost, I knew he was describing the trophy wife. Everybody that thought I knew he was describing was just somebody sit there and look pretty.
For sure.
But with that being said, it kind of like aligns kind of with what Clout was saying, is that while you're sitting over here, he described what an accessory was, but at the same time said that that's what I need in a woman. But you're describing an accessory But then it was like, well, but you gotta remember that you're gonna need a woman that's gonna sit there and rub your back and all. I'm like, what are you? You
Make you
basically
feel good.
saying choose based on what makes you feel good.
Who gonna make me feel good?
When I ain't got no money, that's basically what he was saying. When the money is going, I ain't got no wealth. Who really gonna make you feel good? But don't pick a woman that's gonna make you feel good. But what are you saying?
This fool really said you'll be married to the money over your woman. He really said that. He's like, I still got me. He said, I still got me. I still got my mind that made the money. Like, so you're good with forking over your wealth.
That's
just
why
for not signing a piece of paper.
That's
like,
why when you describe what an accessory was, I was like, he's not describing that.
And man, honestly, this is the guy. This the guy that talk about how he could have been made it to the NBA. You know what I mean? Those type of conversations. You know what I mean? He 5'3", talking about, yeah, man, I supposed to made it. You know, and but I was gonna say, man, last video he was talking about. I hate when people say, oh, it's a lot of people that with money that's miserable. It's a lot of broke people that's miserable. So they always just make this one argument of, oh, all this money, you know, because I never met no person with a whole bunch of money and saying, hey, here's all my money and I'm gonna go be broke. No, they're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna make sure I maintain this because I know I need this for my family and myself. You know what I mean?
Go to therapy later.
Stop having those dumb conversations. My bad. What you say, Sweeney?
I was about to say they say I go to therapy later. They don't be like, well, I'm gonna give up all my wealth and maybe I'll find some happiness. No, that's not how that works. And I agree with you. These type of people, they describe, oh, well, I know a lot of people that got money and they miserable. Yeah, I bet you know way more people that ain't got no money that's miserable. Because I don't know, a lot of people rather be miserable with money than miserable without it.
So check this out. I don't like the fact that they're trying to make this like it's more valuable if a man is more wealthy. Jeff Bezos literally had the most expensive divorce on the planet and was still the richest man in the world at that point, right? So, but if that happened to one of us regular dudes, we're devastated. We are way worse off. We're going to go into depression. We're going to have to change our eating habits. We're going to live in the slums. A lot of times, if we weren't prepared, they're taking your retirement and everything else. And that's crazy. So it's just as valuable for a man who is broke to make sure that he protects himself as well, because he's going to take the little bit that you have and it's going to mess up your lifestyle. Right. And secondly, I think we're ignoring the fact that there are some men. All right, so let's start with this. There are some women who get with dudes just because of the money, right? We know that many women don't like men. They just like what men can do, right? For their purposes, right? There are men who are considered to be heterosexuals, but really just don't like women. And that's not for me, but if you feel like that, and I know people like that, but they function just fine. They really don't like women, but they like some things that women can do. They might want somebody to rub their back. They might want somebody to, you know, little sloppy situation. They might want certain things from women. Maybe once in a while, they might want to chill. Maybe once in a while, they want somebody on the arm. They don't really need love from women, and they function just fine. It's not for everyone. Love ain't for everybody. And that's what, and to me, I feel like a situation like that has the potential to last almost as much as it does for people who do love each other, because they're not expecting love, right? They're not expecting the emotions. They're expecting the person to understand the assignment and to be compensated for it. There's no letdown in that kind of situation. So it's not for me, but I know people who function like that and they're just fine. They don't need a woman for everything. They don't need that steady companionship. They don't need to cuddle. Some people just don't need that. Some people just don't want that. So you can't really tell one person they should be for a wife, right? If they know what they want, right? You don't need to know what I think about it. It's what you think about it. What are you expecting a man from a wife? What do you want her to do? And it's for any other man to decide what my wife is supposed to do for me. You can't decide my wife's purpose. If I'm happy with what she provides and she's happy with what I provide, who the hell are you to say I should pick her for a different reason if that's not what I need in my life?
I definitely thought you was gonna go in a different direction.
Where you thought I was going, sweetie?
Yeah, I thought you was gonna go in a direction where you were saying that some women pick men for money and some men accept that. That's the direction I thought you was gonna go in, because I think a lot of women don't understand that when they say, "Oh, the only thing that's attracting her is your money," like men don't know that. Yeah, the only thing that attracted you is my money too. So, you know what I mean? Some men understand the assignment. Hey, that's why we tell men, hey, look, there's a few ways that you can get women. Almost guaranteed. Sometimes you got to pay for them. Some of them don't have. Some people ain't got to pay for them. But for the most part, we understand the assignment. Some motherfuckers know that, hey, the only thing that's keeping this chick here is my bread. As long as she does what I need her to do, I'm cool with that arrangement. I would say in regards to the prenup situation, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I just want people to understand the consequences of their actions. So if you choose not to do a prenup, if you choose not to take those precautions, understand what can happen at the end and don't complain about it. Jeff Bezos understood. He knew he didn't sign a prenup. He knew he had to split his bread with her. He split his bread with her, and he was like, all right, it is what it is. You have to know what you're getting yourself into and accept the consequences of your actions. Nobody's telling you that oh shit, watching that damn Cedar Point video. Nobody's telling you to do one thing or the other, but if you make a decision, stand on it and live with the consequences that, hey, I know I did this. I might lose half one day. If that happens, I'm cool with that. Don't come back and cry to the congregation when shit hit the fan and she done took you to the cleaners. Don't come back and cry. You knew what you were supposed to do. You didn't do it.
So I think that what Trev was talking about earlier probably worked for arranged marriages where people knew their defined role and it was a transactional relationship and they probably grew to have affection or love towards one another potentially. But either way, they knew the role and they kept that transaction until death, right? We are in a different time frame right now. So back to Trev's point about there's some men that don't like women and want to be in relationships without liking women. It's never going to work because in this today's society, women by and large want something more interconnected than what their foremothers or forebears were able to get, right? So the type of relationship that we're moving forward as far as the therapy that people are getting, the way that people are communicating, what we are trying to shed as far as dysfunction. There's a lot of growth that's attempting. We're at the very beginning stages, but people are attempting to grow and elevate themselves and become more spiritually connected and find more meaningful relationships. And moving forward, if I'm just going to be a breadwinner and that's my whole role within a relationship, that's not going to work in this day and age. From the women I talk to and the women I interact with, they're all saying something similar. Like, if I don't like him and I get in, and I think this is wrong. If I don't like him and I get in a relationship with him, then he has to bring something to the table that's worth me sticking around. The problem is markets fluctuate, inflation, all these things. If your relationship is dependent on the financial market being stable, you should just have sex with them and continue moving on. If the only thing that you bring as a man to a relationship is finances, bro, you probably should just stay away from a relationship until you learn who you are and what you need to connect with another person. These women want more connections than ever before. And it's not a hard ask. And their switch from that is you don't have to have as much money as you may have been required previously, as long as you connect with them in the way that they're trying to connect. And that's what I've been noticing in conversation. So
but you're putting everybody in the same you putting all women in the same category. We can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that this is the majority of women. I'm saying that there are certain men that get along with certain women that just are there for that. I know women who are just there that are cold-hearted, that don't care about nothing. They just want to make sure that they can survive. It's about survival for them. That's the reality. All these women are not wholesome. You think all these women want connections out here? Are you watching social media? You think Sexy Rare with a connection right now? Maybe she do. But from what? Like, look at these females out here, man, that's doing this crazy dirt out here, man. These females is from I'm talking about different types of women. There are some good women out here, right, that want connection. Me personally, I would want a woman who wants a connection. I understand that. But I can't knock somebody who doesn't want a connection. As long as they know what they want and they're presenting that to the other party, it is what it is. We can't make it out like even though you say what you want is affection, that's still selfish. That's what you want, right? Or that's what she wants, right? But not everybody's going to want the same thing. We all gonna want. That's not my cup of tea. Maybe that's not your cup of tea. Like, it's different for everyone. There are some men who really don't need that, and there's some women just alike that just don't need that. It's just about survival. You see, how many times we complain about how women don't love men anyway. If women could just turn on you as they do, right? You watch these women disrespect these men on a daily basis. You can't say that a woman loves a man who she disrespects. You want a connection? These women will isolate you. They weaponize sex. They will verbally abuse you, everything. And then you're saying that they want connections. Not like that. That isn't behavior that someone who wants a connection that exhibits. That's just not it.
So Trev, I think that's a byproduct of somebody. I know some y'all might. I think my brother Shannon disagree with me about this part specifically, right? When I was saying, hey, y'all ain't even said it yet. You listen, I disagree. All right. So I think when we was talking about some women don't believe you're him for her. That don't prevent them from getting in relationships though with men that they don't feel like are him to her. They'll still do it if it's beneficial to them. And in a scenario where they feel that it's beneficial to do that, they will trade up in those scenarios. You will have a high divorce rate in those scenarios. So when I'm saying that these women want connections, they want the connection with the person they want the connection with. And if they can get that, I do not see them leaving hell or high water. What we see is women feeling like they settle at times. And you know when you being used, right? And it sounds like some people are willingly going in, being used and being okay with it. But you useful until you useless in that scenario. And it's going to continually run back to that same cycle. You're going to be repeating that. If she feels like you're not that for her and you're just doing something for her, you're only there as long as she needs that thing done.
Have you ever watch two people and just
wait, hold on, Sweeney.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Marcus, this connection that you think that women want on some level, which I think is, shout out to Coach Greg Adams. You know, men are in love, women are in business. And you said, even yourself, the women that you spoke to said, well, you know, if I can't have that, then they got to have something to the table that's going to make me be there. And you just said that, you know, but if there's some other benefit there, then I'll jump in it. Well, that right there trumps the whole I need a connection part. It should be, if I don't have the connection and I don't want it. But that ain't what women are saying. Women are saying, well, I want a connection. That's what they're telling your friends, your family, or whoever's you talking to. I want a connection, but if I can't get that, then I'll take the bread. That's what the women is ultimately saying. So then that tells me that women are in business. Because if I can't have what my heart is desiring, then I'll accept, you know, a nice bag. I'll take the Benz. I'll take this other consolation prize or whatever this guy has. Now, if he ain't got that and a connection, then I'm out. Men want the connection and all the other stuff is, you know, it's like, I want it the right way. I want the love, or I don't want nothing at all. So to me, when you say that women want this spiritual, I don't know if that's what you meant by connection, but if it's something about love and agape and just having this wonderful bond with her man, but if he don't bring me that, then I'll take the bread. Then then the bread, that's all that matters. Anything else before that don't matter. She's in business. Do you see where what I'm saying? Because men don't talk like that. Men is like, man, why these women don't want me for me? And we're trying to get men to understand, bro, this is,
bruh.
Marriage for love is a new concept, and it was sold to men that way, that we need to do that for women. And women, find a woman that'll say, don't worry about the ring. Oh, I don't care about no wedding ring. I don't care about no diamond. You don't have to give me no diamond. Just go give me a little band or something that you can find at Target. They have a little jewelry department there, right? Just go give me one of them 20 just to represent, but it doesn't have to be anything. You got women out there. We supposed to spend what, 3 months paychecks or all this bullshit. That's business. And that is a staple tenet of women's philosophy in marriage. Where's my ring? Where's my wedding? And all this flashy shit. Men ain't got nothing to do with that. That is transactional. And men have just accepted it. Ever since De Beers came up with the commercial, diamonds are forever. So you have to understand. And shout out to bro in the video. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to talk about black men publicly. I did notice that he had a wedding ring on. And I tend to think that sometimes people who are speaking like he speaks with the wedding ring on, he may be trying to garner female followers, but I wonder, is his wife right behind the camera listen at him to make sure he get home and say the right thing so he can get what he need to get when he get home? That's just what I think.
Listen, he's gonna eat dinner with her.
Yeah.
So some string pulling is what you're saying. It's a little puppet master going on right
That's what
there.
I feel, because I've been in this space for a while, and I've been talking to men for a long time, and I noticed the difference between how some men who are, I'm not saying cucked, but some men who are in their relationships speak versus men who are either not in a relationship, or alpha men who is in charge of their relationship, or men who's been in a relationship and has left one speak. It's like you got the guys who's in charge of his relationship and he can say what needs to be said, period, and his wife is gonna rock with him, or guys that's been on both sides of the scale, versus some guys that and then typically when I see the dynamic and interaction with, I say, oh, that's why he says that. That's why he talks like that.
You're right.
Go ahead,
Tyler Perry.
I've seen what you're talking about too,
man.
and I that does it. Like, I've seen what you're talking about. That does exist. So I agree with everything you were. So earlier they made a point about discernment, right? They also, I think Sweeney said it and Trev said it, but they also said it in the video for men that don't have the discernment to figure out if they in relationships, like it's a skill set, right? I think maybe we should normalize employing that from people who do. And maybe that's what our marriage counseling should look like, where you actually talk to somebody that you trust discernment, or we have a business doing that. Because I could like talk to some people like, oh, that's probably not gonna work for you because she thinks this, and this is your whole thought process. So maybe we can. So then we back to square. So that was my initial thing I was saying. They not listening when you try to tell them what's going on. But if I don't know, we could discuss a price. If somebody want to hit me up and introduce me to their future wife, and we could talk about it, we could discuss the price and figure it out. You just got to be willing to.
Bro, what bro was saying? I don't know why I thought about Jay-Z. He's like, you made me, then make another me. He was saying like, bro, dudes that got money, is the essence of his money making is still with him, whether he gets divorced or not. He just do it. Does he not realize that men get destroyed?
Yeah.
No,
empires. Trust me when I tell you, empires. I've had personal empires destroyed that you can recreate. Just because I got all the knowledge and all the information's up here in the head, you just can't just go out and just do it. Oh, well, you know what? I'm still me, so I'm gonna just go out and do it again. I'm me that I'm not gonna be homeless, but some men become that. Some men have it where everything is going good, and then it could just get torn down through divorce. You can't rebuild that. It's like it makes you wonder. Like, are some people under a rock, or do they just say stuff because they're trying to pander to a particular audience and or person?
It is money. Yeah, because that's what happens. Is I want to make my wife my side chick to my money, and so then it's okay. I don't look at you in the proper light. I just need you to come here and make me feel good. I need you, even though you have the title of a wife, I need you to fulfill side chick duties. Because my money, my business, that's my wife. That's what I'm married to.
Would y'all be okay if
produce it all over again? So if I created it once, I can create it again. I can reproduce it all over again.
Right.
But am I getting tied to the money? Is this what I'm really married to? And I just want you to be almost, I'm making my wife my side chick to my money.
Greater commitment is to the money.
If I could do it once, I could do it again. That's not how it works. And we all know that that's the case.
Sometimes the legality stops you from recreating it.
Sometimes what you built was for that time.
Right.
And for 20 years.
Like you rode the wave, whether it's real estate, whether it's, whatever trend was going hot right then. Like you were riding the financial wave and you amassed what you amassed. And then now you're saying do it again.
No. Or Jeff Bezos could just, Jeff, you could just do another Amazon. You did it
once.
Another one. Make another one.
Do it.
You know a prime example of that? Y'all heard about the old girl who was faking the streams? What was her name? Like Sniper Wolf. And right now, her and her boyfriend built that YouTube channel, built that streaming platform, and he's fighting her right now just for the rights to that streaming channel. Because it's not that easy to just go out and make another.
Yeah, why don't you just make another channel and do it again? No, exactly, Sweeney. But
start at zero. Start at zero. 0 followers. Zero subscribers. Start over again.
I'm with y'all on when you got to strike when the iron is hot, and that you can't recreate everything with business all the time, and you should be wary of just letting your money just fly out the window. Right? I ain't got no argument with that. I don't got no argument with the prenup thing. All I was saying, I'm gonna speak to the point he made in the video because I kind of understand where he was getting at when he said you married your money or your profession before your family. And I think that don't just apply to the wife. I think that goes universally across the family. It's people who put their profession and their money over their kids, and you see the results of that. It's people who do it with their wife, and you see the results of that. Like if you look at, I think police, people who carry their work home with them usually have higher divorce rates than people who can leave their job at the office, right? And there's a segment of the population that this is true for. So again, they were speaking about the top 1%, the top 1 to 10% that are in a financial stratosphere that most humans will never reach. And in that sphere, if you're a workaholic, your family can suffer. You would need to find somebody who you could connect with that understood that about you and can respect that and loved you for that, versus trying to force a square peg into a round hole who wants time and all you have to offer is money. People have to understand who they are and what that version of them needs from the other person. Like one of the reasons why I think I haven't experienced in an actual relationship some of the issues is I understand myself. I know exactly what type of women I'm gonna break up with if we can't go nowhere, like nowhere. And I know it very, 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 very clearly. I need a specific type of woman, and I can only date that specific. When he was saying that you when you get to whatever levels or whatever, you need to understand that decision and pick that very strategically. I understood that my whole life, because I thought I was projected to go to the league at one point. So I was thinking like that for a very, very, very long time. And one of the things is there are men who enjoy back and forth with their women. I am not that type of person. There are men who get turned on by I don't know, men flirting with your woman in front of you, and then like I'm not that type of person. There are men who don't want an extremely nurturing, soft woman that wants to cater to you because they feel like she up under them and she clingy. I like those type of women. Like I know exactly who I am when it comes to the woman I'm selecting. And I'm not saying this right for everybody. I'm saying I know myself. I need a woman that's selfless, that really is selfless. Like nursing, I know nursing get a bad rep, but people that actually go into nursing for the desire to help people and not money, social work, like the jobs that the people who do, like their whole focus is giving. Like the women who naturally just wanted, those the only I couldn't date no Fortune 500 attorney. That would be too the mentality to get to that point would be so selfish. She couldn't be the selfless that I would need. But I know specifically who I am. I know where I lack, what I suffer from as a child. I know what I need to complete from that. I know all those things about myself. So when I pick somebody, it's based off of my necessities of what I need for my yin and yang to be balanced. People trying, oh, she look good. And you know what? On paper, this look right. But it's so many other things that go into that list of compatibility that people just completely ignore and think that it's going to fix or work itself out. That we got to know ourselves so we can pick the person that properly suits that. And it's not a job classification, a familial status, or she come from money. None of those things will change what you actually need. But you got to be able to identify who you are internally and say, hey, this is the type of woman I need. And only get that type of woman. Don't need.
Oh, go ahead, bro. I didn't know. I was trying.
I was gonna say, and only get that type of woman. All the other women you may date and has whatever. If you're gonna be in a relationship, planning for the future, you need somebody that fits into who you are, so they could mold. But like, if I go homeless right now, my wife would be sleeping in the box with me trying to figure it out. I know that about her. I know, like, the financial market can go up or down. It will not change a thing. She could make more money than me, or I can make more money than her. It will not change a thing, because the core principles of who she is, I know what those things are. We've been in all types, and it's been the same energy the entire time. But I specifically know what, you know what I'm saying, what type of person I am and what type of person I needed. People need to really do some introspection so they can figure out who they are and what they need.
Well, Marcus, sounds like you got a winner, my man.
Yes.
Sounds like you got you a winner.
I was gonna say
congratulations.
To put some perspective on it, because we kind of talked about men marrying the money or whatnot, right? Is that a lot of us don't understand that life is about choices and trade-offs. And sometimes the trade-off for having someone that works hard and to bring home the bacon and to be able to elevate your family financially is that he may not necessarily be there socially. Like, that's just the reality of it. That's the reason why you need, you know what I mean, some women need to be the backbone of the household with her and her children, because he's not going to be there, because he's the backbone for why y'all stay afloat. But a lot of people want it all. They want, oh, well, I want you to be able to, I just seen a TikTok the other day where women were on there talking about how they want these men to make over 100. Most people who make over $100,000 a year work over 60-some plus hours a week. They're not home. They're not gonna be there because it called you. Most people work overtime just to get to 100K. How many police officers, how many janitors and everything else, they make all this money, but they not home because they working 70 hours a week or they working in factories. The trade-off, if you want financial freedom, the trade-off is that you're not gonna, some people just not gonna be home. And I think that's what we forget, is that a lot of people want it all. You can't have it all. You have to accept some things. And some people just ain't willing to accept. And in that regard, I agree with Marcus, where you need to pick somebody that's going to understand the assignment and understand that, hey, look, whether I have to go to work and work 70 hours or whether I have to sit down and chill and work 40 hours, you're supposed to be able to be, you're supposed to be here to rock with me. That's the whole reason why the vows exist, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poor. That's what the vows say, is that in all these scenarios, you're supposed to ride with me. But people got this fantasy, this fairy tale ideology of what marriage actually is, and they don't realize there's trade-offs to some of the choices that we make. You want him to be able to afford a house in the suburbs? Well, that house comes with a cost, and that cost means his body.
Hey, there's trade-offs in life, man. There's trade-offs in everything that you do, no matter what. That's just the way reality works. It's always give and take, push and pull, up and down. What goes up always comes down. That's just the reality of the universe. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong based on listening to those guys in the video. What's wrong with men being on their purpose? What's wrong with men having a purpose that's larger than themselves? and larger than just your family unit. You know, some people are on this planet, some people are in this world to invoke change. Some people are on this planet to affect lives. I mean, multiple lives, hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of lives, you know, based on whatever they create, whatever they can think up, whatever putting their voice towards, whatever cause that they promote. I don't like how he almost kind of villainized men that kind of follow their purpose and focus on something before they got into that relationship, before they got into that marriage. They were this person before that. And what men should be doing is, you know, kind of like what Marcus was going with, and what Sweeney was just saying, is you have to align with, these women have to align with what you're doing. They have to know upfront exactly who you are, what you're about, what your values are, and where you're going in your life, what you have envisioned, you know, what your plan is. And if that's something that they can get behind, that's something that they think they can actually assist you with, or they think that's something that that they think is beneficial to the world, or can evoke change or help masses of people. And if that's the case, they need to know when you're going to be there, when you're not going to be there, but you're still going to provide. You're going to hold it down. You might have to travel. You might have to do different things in order to live out your purpose. Because if I remember, the OG, Godfather, rest in peace. But he always started with a man has to start with his purpose is always number one. His purpose is always number one. And then, his mode of making money or whatever, and then his woman, and then his children or whatever. Like there's a certain order to things. Well, I mean, of course, your spirituality and everything is at the top, but it's always your purpose is always at one of the most highest points. Because without your purpose, you're almost moving around blind. You're always almost walking through this world either in a daze, or you're blind, or you're lost. So if you have your purpose, you know who you are, you know where you're going, you have a plan, and a lot of times you can attract the woman that's made for you when you're doing that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close this out, man. It's a great discussion. Let me get to these super chats real quick. AP Accountability Partner says, Marcus, not enough women. Not enough of us know ourselves well enough to even see the red flags and flaws in the woman. Great points, my brother. Miss Polly, what's going on, man? $5 says, shout out to the panel. You must know what you want and stand on your decision after you make them. I want to say salute to everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. Make sure you guys give us a follow too on IG over there on the Lapeef Network. Just put in Lapeef Network and go ahead and give us a follow. Again, shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off loan free gift. The link is in the description. And y'all, Christmas is right around the corner. Orders, when placed in a timely fashion, you will receive them. But this is an excellent gift for men and young men. So make sure you guys go in and copy it. It works. I use it every day. We had to curate it. A lot of testing, even when it comes down to the smells, to make sure that we got it right. So we did our thing on it. I am very, very, very pleased with the product. Let's make sure we support each other as well on the panel.
Man, JR, I need to try some of that. I need to get some of that shirt, man. I need to get some of that on his beard. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see what the smells are. I gotta get me some. I gotta get me some.
And it's just something about a man that smells good, man. When a woman get up on you, just start purring.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel sorry that the men don't have the beards, man. It's just the extra fragrance that we kind of carry. Yeah.
A little extra shine, a little extra swag. There's nothing like when a woman's to get her nails freshly done and she puts it right through here.
Oh, man, yeah,
it's a whole nother deal. Anyway, sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, man. So, I apologize. Beard talk, man. I think most of the men on the panel got beards.
Most of my brother Marcus in the corner. It's all right, brother. It's all right. I got enough beer for both of us, bro. I got enough.
Yeah, but again, let's make sure we support each other, man. Everybody have YouTube channels, and they have some awesome things going on outside of YouTube. So just hit them up on their IG and or YouTube. and let's make sure we support each other. Great show tonight. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel on the way out. Catch us next Tuesday. We out, y'all. Thank you.